I feel that with AI doing most of the job and doing the thinking that you just mentioned with ChatGPT coming up and everything, don't you think the human mind, which is typically supposed to be ruling when it comes to creativity, it comes to the soft skills or the logic thinking, etc. Because if we don't use that enough, we're dependent on an AI, then it's absolutely no point. We're getting wasted.
You have raised a very valid point, and there's a research, if I'm not wrong, by MIT, which kind of points in this direction, saying that almost 80% or 70%, I'm forgetting the figure, of ChatGPT users are actually not using their brains.
Hi, welcome back to Hashbrown, your place where we serve you bold conversations, crunchy insights between life, health, and everything in between. Today's topic is very essential. It's about how artificial intelligence is replacing human resources. Is it replacing? Is it not replacing? Well, to know more about this, I have with me today Mr. Amit Avasthi, who's the founder and CEO of Co-Solve Solutions. He's a global HR leader, ICF ACC coach, culture and transformation expert. He's also recognized as India's top 50 CHROs and top 100 HR. His journey is all about driving impact, inspiring leaders, and shaping the future of work by working with CXOs. I'm sure we'll have some fascinating insights from him. Let's hear more from him. Welcome to the show. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you, Niharika. Pleasure being here.
It is exciting. I've been following you on LinkedIn and I was going through my entire research and I realized that you've been a venture capitalist and also a celebrated HR. So, how did the two happen for you?
So, first, a correction, I'm not a venture capitalist, I'm more of an angel investor.
Oh, my bad.
No,
Okay.
no worries. I mean, a lot of people use these terms interchangeably, so nothing wrong with
Yes,
that.
yeah.
But venture capitalism is like far, far away from where I am.
Yes, yes.
But let me share a bit about this. My journey has been at an intersection of people, tech, and growth. I have been privileged to have led HR roles across IT, fintech, pharma, and these roles have given me the opportunity to manage the global people agenda. And I've also done roles in startup where I have been responsible for the overall organization and their growth. And it's been during that journey that I've also got connected with a lot of founders and startups and started anchoring their growth journeys through coaching.
Oh, wow.
And in the process of it, I also got interested in a few and did some investment as an angel investor. But I think all in all, it's been an interesting journey because venture capitalism gives me a future focused lens
Right,
on
right.
the organization and their growth plans. And HR grounds me to where we are today. So I think it's a good balance that I get to
Definitely.
see in both of
Oh,
these.
definitely. And you spoke of tech because we want to talk about tech today and how tech and HR have impacted lives and are changing dynamics of the organizations. So, speaking of that, we're living in an AI era. You must have seen best of both the worlds, where we've had HR, the current scenario with AI and HR going together, and the world without AI. What do you have to say to that?
AI has significantly changed everything since generative AI came into place. And the way I see AI, so I use a term called PEN.
Okay.
Okay, so PEN stands for AI's ability to predict, evolve, and nudge.
Ah,
And let
nice.
me let me just break this a bit.
Please,
So
please.
when I say predict, AI is able to give prediction based on the data which is fed to it. So you can give patterns of data and AI will be able to analyze those patterns and
Mhm.
give you future based predictions on that.
Right, right.
Evolve is a essential component of AI because with AI we have a great opportunity to evolve the whole employee experience and the way employees and organization perceive and feel HR because there's a element of touch which is missing today in the way HR interacts, and that's where AI can really make a lot of significant
Hmm,
change,
hmm,
right?
hmm.
And nudge is a component where using AI based non-interfering nudges.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine a manager coming and telling you, Niharika, you are late, versus you getting this as a pop-up on your screen
Yeah,
saying that you're late,
right,
right?
right.
So a nudge based approach to managing some of these conversations is much better than human interaction or human interface. So I think that's where AI is making a significant impact. Where there are still areas of concern, if I would pick that. So one is obviously the trust.
Yes, yes.
So how do you bring that trust that AI is taking the right decisions, right?
Yes,
Because
true.
as organizations evolve, as they continue to invest more in AI, there will always be this element of whether AI is making the right decisions for them or not.
Exactly.
The second piece, and the more interesting one, is the whole conversation around ethics. So, what is the right amount of data and what data can be fed to AI?
Yeah.
Should I let AI have access to my wellness? Should I have let AI have access to my, let's say, data around how do I manage my time off work? So these are essential conversations which obviously are happening today and will continue to evolve as we see. So that's the space that I think AI is today and where it is making an impact.
No, sure, absolutely. And speaking of the hiring process of entire journey in the HR fraternity, do you think artificial intelligence is a boon or a bane in the process of hiring, recruiting, firing, and all of that?
A great question, actually.
Thank you.
So I'll tell you a small narrative. So recently we were working with a client, okay, and this client, they usually screen candidates, and they had fed that whole thing into an AI engine. Till few years back, their policy was only to hire from the top B schools and top E schools. And AI had that data. So it was naturally rejecting all candidates who were coming from other B schools or E schools. Because what is fed is what is being executed on. Now, coming to where AI makes a difference, right? Three areas, as I can clearly see. One is the whole candidate experience. So imagine you're a candidate who's waiting for a response from the company, whether you went through interview 1, interview 3, and there's no response. Now, how do you get in touch? You get in touch with the recruiter. The recruiter would be the last person to answer you because a lot is at stake for them, right?
Yes.
So what happens is, in that case, the AI engine can come in as a chatbot and interact or interface with candidates and provide that right information in the right communication style. Unlike a recruiter who will have to politically correct it and say something.
Oh, so you mean the AI can be as blunt as it shouldn't be? Is that
No,
what you
not
mean?
really. Let's say if the communication is you're put on hold,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And if you think as an organization that that's the right way to communicate, then you feed that as a message to the AI,
I see.
saying that this person has been put on hold. But whereas if the conversation is like we have not yet taken a decision,
Yeah.
that is a very tough part when it comes to recruiters, because recruiters would never want to say that.
Right.
So how do you handle that conversation? So maybe AI can and there can be a small nudging factor here, and AI can support that conversation. That's one, right? Second is this whole interview scheduling, because I think it's quite a mundane task.
Oh, yes.
And it puts a lot of pressure, not just on HR teams, the managers,
Yeah.
and everybody around, right? So AI can manage that beautifully. Third is this piece around, and I'm not going in a chronological order, but the piece around screening, right? And the example that I gave you. Screening, again, AI can look at patterns and screen candidates better than a normal human would be able to do.
Okay.
So that's a piece where I think AI can significantly change or impact recruitment. It is also doing so. A lot of organizations are using AI-based recruitment softwares, but is it like a comprehensive approach? I would say no.
So, is there any kind of bias in because of AI now in the process of hiring?
Yeah, one of the bias, as I shared with you, could be in terms of what data has been fed to it, right?
Right.
Second could be, let's say, if I'm a recruiter and I'm just taking an example, I'm a white recruiter, right? And if I've been trained as an AI, or if I train the AI to be in a way that it recognizes white candidates superior to other candidates, then obviously that's the way AI would also act.
Right.
So the bias of AI comes from the bias of human beings. AI in itself doesn't have a bias, right?
Of course.
And that's where we need to be very, very cautious about what kind of data we are feeding.
Right. So it is correct to say that your AI will behave on the basis of what you feed it.
Correct.
Correct. That's
Correct.
so. Then we just spoke of the advantages of AI in the fraternity of HR. What about the negatives?
I wouldn't call them negatives. I would call them barriers, because what's happening today is, while AI adoption should have been at a higher pace, more and more organizations are actually slowing down. And the reason for that is they don't know how AI will evolve. Okay.
Yeah.
So AI in itself has been unpredictable. So people saw with the generative AI, there's a phase to AI, and people thought that will be a great thing to kind of bring into the organization. And a lot of companies developed AI softwares for it, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Today, what has happened is the whole conversation is changing from AI to AI agent and now to agentic AI. And with agentic AI, you can pretty much automate most of your workflows.
Yeah.
But that requires a significant going back from the organization's point of view. It requires a significant, I would say, a back loop
Mm-hmm.
to understanding where your processes can be automated. And that's a significant investment.
Sure.
And which is where most organizations are shying away and saying, okay, let's wait for what next from AI. Because it's
Yes.
it's a
Yes.
continuously evolving
Yeah. It's a
field, right?
watch, wait and
So
watch
that's the
approach.
approach. The second thing is the whole piece around bias and how AI can act in certain situations. So I would say that AI in collaboration with
Hmm.
human effort is a better approach than AI standalone, right?
Hmm.
So decision making cannot be given to AI. It has to be human augmented decision making with AI, because that's where AI will be able to give you that data or insights, and
Right.
human beings can use that data to make more impactful decisions for the organization.
Correct.
The other thing which has happened, see, we all come with certain perspective, right? So somebody might be better in analytical thinking,
Yeah.
somebody could be more creative.
Correct. Correct.
With AI, you don't have that boundary. So you get a multi-dimensional perspective on everything, which means if we use AI the correct way, right, we can actually enhance the quality and the output of our projects, make more creative decisions for the organization, and bring more impact.
Right. Right. Rightly said so. Yeah, and I think apart from just the hiring scope of things, and I'm purely talking from the standpoint of HR right now, that from factors like performance reviews and career growth plans, etc. Can that also be dependable with AI?
Oh, yes, significant amount of change. Talk about performance management, and I've designed processes for very large setups, almost 80,000 employees across 34 countries. And what I, at that point of time, it was more around defining a process and following that process to the T
Yeah,
on the
right.
HR tech system as
Correct.
well, right?
Correct.
With all the guardrails and everything put in place. Today, that whole conversation has changed. So I can make the performance process more continuous. And at the same time, I can have performance enablers, which can be actually AI based data loops, which can evaluate performance real time
Process. Right. Right.
and give nudges both to the managers and to the employee.
Right.
So,
Hmm.
for example, if I have a large team of 1,000 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a manager, I'm constrained if I just use a dashboard or a performance management system. Whereas if I get a real time nudge saying your performance in this country or this region is not going well because of these reasons, I will have much better insight to take those calls.
Correct.
And
Correct.
as a manager, then I can decide whether I want to increase the
Right.
performance incentive in a particular region or do something different, right?
Hmm.
You talked about careers. Career, again, just to complete one more point on
Sure. Sure.
performance based nudges are again a very important parameter. So if my performance is not going as per the requirements, right? If I'm not doing well in my in a particular quarter, in a particular month, in a particular period,
Right.
I can actually create those specific nudges based on my org culture to nudge that employee saying, hey, you are missing out on these parameters. These are the things that you need to check on.
Hmm.
Are you doing it? And then that nudge can follow up on a regular basis. So there's enough and more opportunity for that person to also show up and perform. I think that's where a significant impact can happen. Talking about careers, I think we have seen the democratization of learning plans happening with, we call it learning become more like Netflix. But today with AI, you can actually customize it and personalize it to a level where you can use skills as an interface or a commodity instead of just experience.
Hmm.
So I can focus on a skill based community development or skill based learning,
I see.
unlike past, because now I know what are the perfect skills and how they can be augmented using various programs that the organization offers or that exist in the external world.
Hmm.
And that's an opportunity that we get through this particular interface. So AI has a big role to play in how we are able to train and upskill our employees for
Yeah,
sure.
right. No, certainly. I think you have a point there because if, and this is very important, typically in a, like you said, in an employee arrangement of 10,000 plus or maybe 80-50 also, for an HR, it is difficult to upgrade the skills of each and everybody because some people may have a certain number of skills, some people may not have that skills. And with AI, you get that segregation or
Correct.
compartmentalization, that, okay,
Correct.
these people need to upgrade in XYZ skills and, so on and so forth. So that is an advantage. But you spoke of nudges. I'm concerned because do you think that when a pop up comes up on the screen saying that you're late or you need to review, upgrade your performance, and so on and so forth? And I'm purely playing the devil's advocate here.
Sure.
How much of it do you think will a human being get really impacted by that pop up saying, oh my God, I'm being questioned, vis a vis a human interaction on that particular point?
That's a good point. See, usually what happens, and I'm also talking about Gen Z, right? Gen Z is at
Very
the
important.
workplace. So I think over generations, the way the definition of work
Hmm.
and what people consider as work life balance and how do they want to work has changed. The preferences
Yes.
have
Oh,
changed,
yes. Oh,
right?
yes. Tremendously.
When you look at some of these things from a Gen Z lens, one of the challenges that comes across is that why is my manager interfering in what time am I coming?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
And since we picked up that example of late, right? Imagine a nudge coming to you, hey, you are late for fifth consecutive day today. Now, whether that person would like it or not, they would know that, okay, somebody's watching, right?
Hmm. Okay.
And that element, and we have tested it in a real client environment. So it worked better than that manager coming because managers also, let's accept it, don't like to have these difficult
Oh,
conversations.
yes. Oh, yes. I think we
So,
all avoid that.
so yeah. So one of the beauty about the nudges is I don't need to make it interfering. I don't need to make it very chaotic. I can make it the way the organization culture is. So if my culture is very frank and on the face kind, I can actually say you are late and this is not acceptable. Whereas if it is not like that, I can always say that, hey, you are late. How better it would be if you were 30 minutes early.
Right. Ah, yeah, of course. Of course. But can you still replace empathy? Because the older
No,
version of HR.
empathy is certainly something that cannot be replaced by
Right.
AI. At least not in today's version. Let me put
Yes.
that
Of
qualifier
course. Of course.
because AI is ever evolving. The point is empathetic conversations at workplace, and empathy is often misunderstood also, right?
Hmm.
I'll give you an example. When I was early on in my career, I used to think that I have to be empathetic towards everybody and understand things from their
Yes.
point of
Oh,
view,
always. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which meant that I had to lower my approach to fit into someone else's approach. Today, I think about it very differently. Having evolved
Yes.
and learned through experiences, I believe that I have to understand where each person can be more like a cog in the wheel than becoming like a part of me or me becoming a part of them, right? So I think it's more about hub and spoke kind of a situation where I can also be a spoke in some hub.
Yeah.
So I don't need to change the way I am or change the other person.
Right.
So empathy is also about understanding how do we approach some of these conversations from the lens of that individual, not from our own lens also.
Perfectly said so. And I think with AI currently being the need of the hour, do you think it's going to create some new categories of job and opportunities within the HR world?
Certainly, yes. One of the things which I'm most passionate about, right, and I believe is going to have a significant difference or impact is the way AI can help us reconfigure jobs. If whether I talk about a software engineer or whether I talk about any basic entry level job in other industries, there's this opportunity to see what we can automate out of it, what remains. Now, what remains can mean that I can add another component to it. So, for example, if I am able to automate the coding part for a software engineer, I can make him more like a requirement specialist with the client. And that person can get a very different exposure and therefore a very different career path
I see. I
compared
see.
to what they are doing today. They are just being like a backend coder who's putting in detail. Not to say that that job is not impactful or doesn't need to happen. But if I have a tool to do that, I can better replace that with something else. Coming back to the point, I think AI has given us a significant opportunity to reconfigure our organizations, redesign our organizations. So, org design has a significant role to play, and we can make it more skill based, unlike today, where it's more role based, job based kind of an environment.
Okay.
But it also requires a significant going back to the basics, which is the org design, and
Yeah.
saying that how do we now reconfigure each job, each role.
Okay.
I think that's an investment that organization will need to make. If we don't, tomorrow that will be pushed on us by automation,
Yeah, yeah. Of
and
course.
it'll
Of
come
course.
come to us by force. So
Right.
so that's a trade-off that we'll have. More organizations are, as I see it today, are still taking that cautious approach, which is also fine, but at the same time, we need to start somewhere.
Of course. Of
Otherwise, we'll
course.
lose this AI opportunity.
Yeah. No, but speaking of organizations and replacement, since you rightly said so, do you think that any organization with the Department of HR, if we have AI implementation through and through, would it be taking away a lot of human jobs in the HR world?
I see as the opportunity, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Right? So we have all heard about the typewriter age,
Ah,
the calculator age,
we've all
right?
been there.
And even the computer's age. And people used to believe that jobs will go away.
Yes,
What
we
has
all.
actually happened is more jobs got created in a different category, right?
Interesting. This is
So,
very interesting.
so it's the same for the AI age. I think what will happen is we'll have new jobs which will come over. Today, we see those jobs as prompt engineer,
Ah,
prompt specialist, right?
yes, yes,
But
right.
these jobs will also continue to evolve. And I think, like I said, AI age is less about the role and the experience, more about the skills. So, people who have AI skills, whether you are in finance, whether you are in marketing, you could have a very different role to play tomorrow compared to a financial analyst or even a CFO today. So that's the impact that AI can bring, and that's all
Interesting.
positive.
Interesting. I think I've met I think you're one of the very few people I've met who's for AI, because we've all been listening and hearing that, oh my God, AI is a threat, and we will be out of jobs and we'll have no skills to deliver, which is surprising. And I think the perspective you've given is really positive that way. So, excellent. But also tell me, do you think that the senior management of organizations will have to, update themselves and the AI coming in?
Oh yes, and not just senior management. Of course, the leadership should be the ones who lead by example, right?
Yeah.
But beyond leadership, I think AI is a mandatory skill for everybody, and even in HR, right? In HR profession, if leaders are not using AI or deploying AI, they are missing out a big opportunity. So I do believe that AI upskilling is something which will be not a choice anymore. It is not a choice even today, but in future it will be more so because an agentic AI can do in hours what would otherwise take days, right?
Wow. Yes, of course. Of course. Of course.
So some of these things that HR traditionally does, payroll, transactional
The
processing, all
mundane.
these will be gone with AI. if we implement the AI the right way and the right tools. What will be left is HR leaders as coach,
Yeah.
HR leaders as mentors, HR leaders as program managers of large program, and working with, maybe today we are not in a robotics AI situation, but maybe in future human AI interface and bringing them together to lead impactful programs.
Sure, sure. But what are your thoughts on employee trust and data privacy being a very important topic in today's world?
So I see them as a foundation, Niharika. Let me take an example, right?
Please, yeah.
So when you construct a house, you don't have a choice but to focus on the foundation first.
Yes, yes, of course. Yeah.
So this is the foundation of any organization which has to be AI enabled. So how do you build that trust? So first of all, you should have the right approach towards collecting data, disseminating data,
Hmm.
ensuring that employees,
Yeah.
and there's a human in loop process, right? Because
Right.
anytime you leave everything, I'll take an example. Any AI analysis needs to be done. You need to mask personal information. So,
Yeah.
employee data, let's say employee names, their categories. Why is that so important? Because AI data is all there in the cloud. Tomorrow, anybody can access it
Yeah.
and use your information to create their own models.
Right.
So, you have to be cautious about how you approach the data in first place, right? Second is this whole concept about governance. Why governance is important? Because you have to ensure that there's a governance mechanism beyond just the IT team driving it or just the HR team. It can't be a one person agenda.
Right.
There has to be an ethics council to say what is fine from our lens in terms of collecting that data from an AI system, right? And the best approach I always have felt, and I've seen it in person, is creating trust through transparency. There's no other approach which works better. So the more transparent an organization is, the more trust it will be able to generate between employees and managers as well.
Absolutely. I agree. In fact, so you've been in the investment fraternity. You've been an angel investor. Speaking from that lens, do you, if you had to invest in the HR fraternity with any kind of AI ideation, what are the possible startups that would come to your head or would come in the future?
A lot of such conversations keep happening very frequently. So there's this interesting space which is still very empty, is the skill-based AI space.
Okay.
And I do not see too many startups focusing on that. That's definitely going to be a big impactful area, because the moment you make skill as the currency for employees and you are able to create a AI model which can evaluate skills, suggest career paths,
Oh.
suggest learning paths,
Hmm.
suggest options for employees to actually upskill them, that will be a complete game changer. Second space that I see is this whole piece around ethics, compliance,
Okay.
with an AI lens,
Okay.
which is an interesting space. Third area which is still very evolving is how does this whole agentic AI becomes more in the face. So I think a lot of organizations are doing projects around it. I know about ServiceNow, I know about few others who have kind of started projects in that space. But this is again an area where startups can play a big role.
Yeah.
So just imagine automating your basic processes using agentic AI, and
Right.
that's a space which has huge potential again.
So it's good to know from you that the jobs are safe for people watching this. They should know that please don't be afraid that if AI is coming up and it's a big game changer, it is definitely, but it is not here to take your jobs. So, I think that's a good way of letting our people know this. But I also feel, do you think that with if used correctly or in favor, AI can also help employees grow in any capacity, whether it's skill upgradation, it is knowledge upgradation. But when it comes to training, which is a significant part of HR, how do you see that getting impacted specifically?
See, training has been more, the word itself, right? It connotates organization led support for employee development,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes,
I
sure.
think
Yeah.
there's a mid or interim phase, which is whole democratization of the learning itself, where I'm not dependent on my organization to support my learning. Let's say today I'm to learn, there are more enough and more sources available through MOOCs, which is the free content which is available
Right.
on the internet, right?
Right.
And I also have organizational programs, or even beyond organizational programs, I can go in for certifications and all of those courses, right? What is also interestingly happening is a lot of AI tools, like I can give you an example of Google. Google Notebook LLM bring out my best for a project using a particular approach that I never use. So for example, I'm more of a process thinker.
Yeah.
How will this project be if I'm a people person?
Yes, of course. Interesting.
Or how will this project be if I were to think financially?
Yeah. Okay.
And I just give that input into ChatGPT, right? It'll make me think very differently on that project. It's learning on the go. It's learning for the need rather than learning or a training per se. So I think the whole paradigm is shifted, and it is for us to leverage it today rather than wait for something to happen tomorrow.
Right, but on the flip side also, which is concerning, since we're sort of seeing both the parameters, I feel that with AI doing most of the job and doing the thinking that you just mentioned with ChatGPT coming up and everything, don't you think the human mind, which is typically supposed to be ruling when it comes to creativity, it comes to the soft skills or the logic thinking, etc. Because if we don't use that enough, we're dependent on an AI, then it's absolutely of no point. You're getting wasted.
You have raised a very valid point, and there's a research, if I'm not wrong, by MIT, which kind of points in this direction, saying that almost 80% or 70%, I'm forgetting the figure, of ChatGPT users are actually not using their brains. But the point is, that's happening when they are not using their prompts correctly.
Well, that is a catch.
So,
That is very important to know.
So if I am able to prompt it properly, if I think about my context, I said these are my limitations as an individual. How can I think about my project differently?
A new perspective.
A new perspective, a new approach.
Yeah.
And then I integrate it back into my work. That's not losing creativity, right?
No, I think because and I think
and
it is important for people at the senior position, therefore, to depend
Correct.
on AI, not in the people in the beginning of the career.
Correct. That's again a very sharp observation, Niharika, I must say, because I'll take examples of kids today, right?
Yes, please.
They have become so AI dependent.
Oh, yeah.
You can actually see school kids using ChatGPT and likes,
for projects, for essays.
Yeah. So your observation is to the point, but I think it's also a shift which is happening.
You think
so? I wasn't born in a mobile age, right?
Yeah.
But I adapted to it, right?
Oh, yes.
I think same would have happened with you.
Of course.
So today's kids, they are born with mobiles in their hands, right?
That to the screen, the touch wala.
Literally.
Not the button phone.
So I think the way I see it, and I may be kind of limiting my perspective to this approach, but the way I see it, we have to adapt to whatever is in front of us.
Sure.
AI is ubiquitous and it's all over. So you can't really make a choice saying that I don't want to pick it up. So that's where the challenge is, right?
Yeah.
I feel it's for us to see it as an opportunity or as a challenge or as a restraint. Like I said, the barriers to AI are definitely going to be there. What you talked about now are more personal barriers.
Yes.
There will be organizational level barriers. There will be team level barriers.
Yes.
So we'll have to see what do we want to tackle. And a good AI project would actually go and first understand those barriers and see what is the best solution and then implement it at all the three levels.
Yes.
So that's how it is.
That is a sensible way of using the AI to your advantage, not depending on it wholly and solely 100%.
Correct.
I think the ratio should be, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, 70-30. 70 being AI and 30 being the humans, the human touch being alive.
Even peg it at that.
Okay.
So I think what's important, and we did some work in this area in my organization with a client, but creating. So today, let's say if I look at any process in HR, right? I'll say this is recruitment, this is performance. But have I thought about mapping a user journey across those processes? Have I thought about saying, okay, I come in as an employee on day one. What's my journey like for the next 365 days?
Yeah.
The moment I do that, I know what are my touch points. The moment I know my touch points, I'll be able to say, this is where an automation would help with AI. This is where no interface is required with AI. This is where a human interface would help.
Right.
So mapping that journey, and that would make it varied.
Yes.
Right. So
yes.
there will be touch points where I'll say it has to be 90% human, 10% AI. So for example, I'm doing an exit. I can't have it
Done
being
by an
sent
AI.
through a
You're
chatbot
fired.
saying you're fired. I'm sure organizations will do that also someday, but
Yeah.
that's not the intent,
Of
right?
course, of course.
You'll want a human interface there.
Right.
But there will also be places where you can do 70-30. And there will also be places, let's say if I have a query and I'm saying I'm struggling as a new employee to figure out when will my salary be processed. That's an interface where I can say 95 or even 100% AI.
Of course.
That's
Of course,
where I
yeah.
think at a percentage level it will vary.
Yeah.
But at an overall level, you can safely say that it will be a hybrid approach towards it.
Correct. So I think while we're giving AI enough freedom, we still want to, as humans, control its freedom and keep it with us.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
That's the correct way of saying
Correct.
it. All right. I am quickly fast forwarding 10 years and imagine you're in a AI world altogether head to toe and powered by HR, of course. What would that world for you be like?
So I keep imagining it
I'm
quite
sure.
often
I'm sure.
because let's be honest, nobody can say with an hourglass approach saying this is how the future would look like.
Definitely.
What we can say at this point of time for sure is that AI will have a significant impact given the way it is progressing. With every year, we can see a lot of changes happening to the AI approach, the AI models. Today, I don't know if you have heard about Nano Banana.
Not yet.
It's a Gemini model, Google Gemini model. It can make you from this particular place, you can actually be sitting in an aircraft to a cruise and you can be sitting with a very different attire.
Wow.
With a different face direction. Okay.
Oh my God.
And you'll still look exactly like you.
Oh my God. That's scary.
So Nano Banana has actually reached there
wow.
this year.
Oh my
So
God.
I don't know what else can keep happening over next 5 years. But going back to your essence of your question, right? I think tomorrow's workplace is supposed to be an augmented workplace.
Yes, yes.
AI augmented, robotics augmented, maybe even more advanced AI. Human touch is not going, humans are not going.
Yeah.
But the roles would have evolved. We'll be more focused on a skill based approach. We'll be focused on creating that hybrid experience. It'll be more of a norm than something that would be a choice. So that's the way I see it.
Wow, interesting.
So that's the way I see it.
Wow. So please remember, it's not going to be a norm, it's going to be a choice. Is that right?
I said it will be the.
It's going to be the norm, not the choice.
Not
wow,
the choice.
That's scary and exciting at the same time.
Yeah, it's because I think the reason I said it's not going to be a choice because where will we go unless there's something very bad which happens with AI and every government organization shuts down every AI system,
So
right?
we still have the human control.
Yeah, still.
Yes.
So unless that kind of a situation happens, we are still dealing with an AI which is non-sentimental.
Right.
And that means that it doesn't have the emotions. So humans have the control.
Of course. Of course.
Until we have the control, we can drive how it is to be.
So humans still continue to be the top species with or
Correct.
without AI. On that note, I have one question to ask you before I move to my rapid fire segment.
Sure.
If there was one advice, Amit, you had to give to the senior leaders in HR to be prepared for the future in AI, what would that be?
This is an advice for all HR colleagues, not just senior leaders, because I think
Yes, okay. Yeah, like that.
everybody in HR. So we have seen movement from very, very transactional approach to HR to becoming strategic. Yet we don't have a seat at the table. And I think that's a conversation that HR has every year.
Acha.
And we believe that we should be in that boardroom and we should have a seat at the table, but
Wow.
yet we don't have it.
Mhm.
And the simple reason is HR has always been a function which is seen with emotions
Yes.
and
Yes,
talking
always.
emotional stuff which is non-quantifiable.
Yes, absolutely.
Today, that's an opportunity that we have. Using AI in the right places can transform that impression.
Hmm.
Imagine going to a board meeting saying that tomorrow our skills will move like this,
Mapped, yeah.
and we will need these skills to be relevant tomorrow in our business, because the way we see our business data moving, we'll be able to say with confidence that this is the direction of business, and therefore this is where our people are lacking.
Wow.
Today HR can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it can do that with some Excel sheets mashup, but it's still not precise
Accurate.
and predictable.
Right, yeah.
So AI gives that opportunity.
Wow.
We have to leverage it. We have to use it. And I think being AI literate is not a choice. So that's the whole point.
Yes. So predictability is going to go up.
Yes.
Super. All right. And on that note, I'm going to start my favorite section, which is my rapid fire section. So, all right.
I'm on fire.
You
Okay.
are on fire. You have to be very quick. And
Sure.
whatever comes to your mind first is your answer. Okay, here we go. AI for hiring or AI for training? What excites you more?
Training.
Wow.
Development happens better.
Brilliant. What's one HR task you'd be happy to hand over to AI forever?
Forever. Interview scheduling.
Yes, of course. One HR skill AI will never replace.
Empathy.
Yeah, bang on. ChatGPT or human mentor? Who would give better career advice?
Both. One is around the context. So mentor will give you the context. ChatGPT will give you the ideas.
Nice. I like that. I like how you want to keep it hand in hand. Nice. If AI was an employee, what job title would you give it?
Maybe a chief insight officer.
Wow, that's a high profile job. Okay, we'll take that. Okay, future of work in one word.
Augmented.
Which job will AI never replace?
Tough to say, but managers as a coach.
Yes. If you had to summarize, what is the biggest opportunity and the biggest risk AI brings to HR?
So opportunity is in terms of saying what areas we can automate, how can we make HR more effective and change the whole experience.
Right.
Risk is around data ethics, privacy, and compliance. So these are the biggest risks that I see today.
Perfect. I think that's perfect. Okay. What, according to you, is more awkward? AI giving someone the opportunity to get hired or AI firing someone?
AI firing someone. We
Of
just
course.
discussed this.
Of course, yeah, we done that. Okay. All right. I think you did very well in the rapid fire, and I think AI will be very proud of you. So kudos to you on that. Well, on that note, Amit, I think this has been absolutely. We've had a very insightful conversation and absolutely brilliant. I love the way you've given a very clear perspective of the future of AI, while we don't want to let go of the current scenario of the human touch of AI, which is where we are at, and I think that is the future of AI too. So it's been a pleasure altogether to having you on the show, Amit. Thank you so
thank
much
you.
for your time.
Thank you very much. And it was a pleasure being there. And you had a really great set of questions to challenge me.
I hope so. I hope so. We all had fun, didn't we? Yes.
Yeah, so it was good fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you.